I've been eating red meat every single day for 2 years, and according to doctors and every major health authority, I should be dead by now. But in reality, it's the opposite. I'm thriving. And if you've spent any time trying to build muscle or researching nutrition, you've been told eat more protein, but not from red meat because red meat causes heart disease, red meat causes cancer, stick to chicken, stick to the protein powders. But most guys will just comply to that information because it's what the experts say. And that's why most guys don't make any gains in the gym. But what nobody tells you is the research behind the claims of red meat causing cancer and causing heart disease is some of the weakest science in all of nutrition. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly why the experts have gotten red meat wrong. And now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a dietitian, I'm just a guy who got tired of spinning his wheels, seeing no results, and actually seeing my health getting worse because of what the experts say. So I went deep into research, I went deep down the rabbit hole, and I actually applied it into my own life, and the results speak for themselves. Now watch this video, and by the end, you'll never look at protein again. Now first, let's get into who's actually making these claims. Because for 50 years, you've heard that red meat is slowly killing people. And this will help us connect the dots later on in the presentation. So what are the claims? Red meat causes heart disease, it raises your cholesterol, too much damages your kidneys, plant protein is just the same as animal protein, red meat is linked to cancer, and processed and unprocessed meat is the same thing. So like a steak is the same as like a sausage or deli meat. And now who's making these claims? You have the WHO, which is during COVID, I think they lost all their credibility. They're the same people telling you to take the jab and you would never get the illness. I don't even know if you can say this on YouTube still, but I think they lost all credibility because obviously if you took the jab, you still got sick. And then you have the American Heart Association. And what you have to realize about the American Heart Association is that they are actually funded by processed food companies. Like some of their biggest funders are Procter and Gamble, General Mills, Quaker Food Company, all these companies who make processed food and rather have you eat processed food rather than red meat. They fund all these studies that they run on red meat and heart disease. So most registered dietitians will tell you that red meat will cause cancer and all the bullshit over here. And you have to think, these guys are indoctrinated in school. They've gone to school for 4 years, taken the slop from the universities, and if you still think that colleges are teaching you what is real in the world, then you shouldn't be watching this video, because obviously there's people I know who graduate college and then they can't find a job now. So college is also discounted in my book, and it should be in yours too. Now you have plant-based nutrition influencers, and I won't even get into that. Who's going to take those guys seriously? Those guys look like they're slowly dying. They have bags under their eyes. They're skin and bones. I would never want to look like those guys. You have mainstream media like the news, CNN. You have these Netflix documentaries telling you that you should eat plant protein because it's better than beef. And again, CNN, this fake news, all this crap is just, it's literally just propaganda. And then you have observational researchers. So these are just people, again, in universities who run these studies, and really, they're indoctrinated in these universities. And then you have the same institutions that endorse seed oils. So the American Heart Association, again, they endorse seed oils, and again, they're funded by General Mills, Procter and Gamble, these companies that literally pump their food full of seed oils. And you have to realize seed oils are just like fillers. It's like when a Coke dealer cuts his cocaine with baking soda so he can stretch his product. That's all that seed oils are. They put that in your food, so then they make the food look like there's more actual food when it's really just these cheap seed oils in your food. So let's get into why all protein is not created equal and kind of beat the claims of why soy protein and pea protein, wheat protein is not the same. So the bioavailability is the metric that we need to go with here. And you measure bioavailability with the BIAAS score. So beef has a 0.92 bioavailability. You can see it has a high BCAA profile. BCAA, branch chain amino acids, that's what the actual protein is comprised of. So when you talk about protein, you have the protein, and then BCAAs actually make up the protein. Soy here, it does have high DIAA score, but if you go down here, soy scores are adjusted to 0.1 by conversion. Raw scores are much lower. So if you actually dig into the science, soy does not match up to beef. And then you have pea protein, like what a joke. Why would you eat pea protein? It has no BCAAs at all. And then wheat protein, like what protein are you going to get from wheat? All you're getting is carbs from all of this. And then more important here is the digestibility. So I'm big on having a healthy gut microbiome. So that's how the bacteria in your gut actually breaks down the food you eat. This is super important because if that gut bacteria can't break down that food, can't break down that protein, and can't absorb it, you're literally just wasting calories eating grain sludge, basically. Like you're eating literally sludge. I was watching this movie called Snowpiercer, and they're literally grinding up crickets and feeding them to the people in the train, and the people start like throwing up when they realize they've been eating crickets. And that's all that people are doing when they're eating this soy, pea, and wheat protein. They're eating like cheap processed sludge. Now let's get into why beef isn't just a complete protein. It's like the full biological package. So number one, it's going to have creatine. Creatine fuels your phosphocreatine system. That means more reps, more strength, and more muscle. So it's going to increase your ATP energy. If you know about creatine, then you know the benefits of creatine. But you can get all your creatine you need from red meat. I'm not totally against supplementing with creatine if it's clean. I feel no need to because I have plenty of energy in the gym. I have plenty muscle pumps. I lift plenty weights just by eating an animal-based diet mainly comprised of beef. And then you have your carnosine. This buffers lactic acid during training, delaying fatigue, and it extends your set capacity. Lactic acid, that's what builds up in your muscle and makes you sore. So if you get sore after doing like one set in the gym, this is why. It's because you don't have enough carnosine in your system and the lactic acid is able to build up way too quick. Beef is also going to be high in hemi iron. There's 3 times more bioavailable than in plant iron. This is essential for oxygen transport and energy. So what moves the nutrients and everything to your muscle? It's your blood. This is what the hemi iron is going to help with, is making your blood flow better by fueling it with iron. And then we have zinc. Zinc is crucial for testosterone synthesis. Most men are deficient because they have plant-dominant diets. Like zinc is also good for your immune system. Zinc is good for your whole body in general. But mainly it's going to be testosterone. You need zinc for testosterone, and you're just not going to find that in plants. And then we have B12. This is only found in animal foods. It's essential for your nervous system. And so your nervous system is what controls your body when you're When you're lifting, you're literally pushing your muscles, like activating your central nervous system. You need a fast central nervous system in order to push the most weights possible and then make that mind-muscle connection. And then it's going to have CoQ10. This is your mitochondrial cofactor. It powers cellular energy production in the muscle. So the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. When you power your mitochondria, you're literally powering every cell in your body, making the most gains possible. Now, red meat equals cancer is deeply flawed research. And we're going to get into like all the flawed research in this slide here. So red meat causes cancer comes from this study where they tested TMAO, and that's found in red meat eaters' blood. Now, the headlines will say red meat causes heart disease via this TMAO, but in reality, fish produces far TMAO with no heart risk. So you always hear the doctors and the health authorities say eat fish instead of red meat, but fish in reality produces far more of this TMAO that they ran in the study to prove that red meat causes heart disease. Your gut microbiome determines the TMAO conversion. So again, like I was saying in the past slide, I'm big on a healthy gut microbiome. If your gut microbiome is healthy, then you're not going to have this TMAO conversion. It goes much deeper than red meat bad, fish good, you know? There's much deeper knowledge behind the science of your food, of your gut microbiome. And then animal models used, they forced doses not at dietary levels. So they probably had these people on like straight carnivore diets when they ran the study. And what you have to understand is in these studies, correlation is not causation. So you cannot prove red meat causes anything really because people have different gut microbiomes, people have different genetic markers, people have very different things going on in their life. You cannot just say everything is caused by red meat. Like some people may get more radiation, some people may get more may have more microplastics in their balls. You know, you never know what the other correlations are in the study. And then you have to really think about the confounding variables. So red meat eaters, by just the natural aspect of it, are going to be more likely to be smokers. They're more likely to be sedentary people and eat processed meat. So where they get the studies wrong is because they'll test red meat eaters versus vegans. And people who eat red meat are more likely to eat cheeseburgers. They're more likely to, again, like smoke cigars, drink alcohol, versus you test a vegan. A vegan is very concerned about their health. So why they are eating a diet that has no nutrients in it, they're not going to be smoking, they're not going to be drinking, they're much more health conscious people. So you take someone like a vegan who's actually health conscious, and then you pair it against all meat eaters, not just a carnivore or not someone who eats a clean animal based diet like me, and you're comparing these people to like literally your basic boomer who goes to McDonald's, gets a cheeseburger, gets a soda, eats fries, and then they're saying, oh, meat eaters have more cancer and more sickness versus vegans. Yeah, no shit. If the vegans were eating McDonald's and drinking soda, drinking alcohol and smoking cigarettes, they would have the same markers too. And this is the healthy user basis. There's also the food frequency questionnaires, and notoriously these are inaccurate. Like if you ask a vegan or someone who's eats a plant-based diet, like how are you feeling? They're going to have it in their mind that like they're healthier because it's called the placebo effect. Like the placebo effect is that you can actually like be told a medicine is working for you and your brain will actually heal your body. Even if you're just giving a sugar pill, you will actually use the power of your mind to heal your body. So when they ask vegans, how do you feel on the diet? They're going to say, great, I feel so much better. Or even when someone goes to a processed food diet to a vegan diet, they're going to be like, yeah, I feel so much better. Yeah, you cut out all the processed bullshit and you're eating whole foods now. Of course you're going to feel better. Versus if you eat just like animal-based protein and cut out processed food, cut out drinking, cut out smoking, you're going to feel 10 times better because of all the vitamins I listed in the slide above. And then the relative risk numbers are tiny. So like when they run these studies and they say that red meat eaters have more cancer, even when they're testing like the meat eaters that eat McDonald's, eat fries, drink diet soda, there's still the levels are very small compared to people who don't eat red meat. So it's not even if they did, it's not too big of a difference there. Now, every compound you need is already in beef. You don't need any supplements when you're eating the animal-based diet. Like I was saying above, I do not take any supplements. I don't do protein powders. I think these animal-based protein powders are bullshit too. In the past, I ate one by Mark Bell. This was like probably 4 years ago. But it's all bullshit because these protein powders are literally dehydrated and then they sit in a warehouse for a month, and they come from China. So then they sit in a warehouse in China for a month, and then they come on a slow boat from China, probably for 2 months, and then they sit in a warehouse in the US for 2 months. And meat does lose nutrients the more it sits out. Whether it's frozen, whether it's dehydrated, it is going to lose nutrients. So let's talk about the compounds in beef that actually are going to help you train and make you make more gains in the gym. So you have creatine. Again, you're going to charge your phosphocreatine system. This is your ATP energy, the energy that your muscles need to actually work and push weight. You have your carnosine, the lactic acid, so you don't get sore, so you can go longer in the gym. The hemi-iron, this is going to deliver oxygen to your muscles quicker. Your muscles need oxygen when working out in the gym. And then B12, this is the neuromuscular signaling. So again, that mind-muscle connection, making those fast actions in the gym, actually being able to get that pump and lift as much weight as possible. Now, how does beef help during training? It has a complete amino acid profile that really goes with any meat. Like when you eat any protein powder, you're not going to get all your amino acids, but any meat source is going to have all your amino acids, not just beef, but that's a plus for beef. You're going to have no energy crashes. You're going to have stable blood sugar. So when you take supplements, it's often mixed with synthetic sweeteners, real sugar, and all this bullshit ingredients that are actually going to raise your insulin levels and spike your insulin unnaturally. Think, your body evolved over 200,000 years of just eating red meat without an insulin spike. So when you mix red meat with insulin, your body's like, what the fuck is this? I have no idea what to do with this. It's unnatural. It's bad for your health to be spiking your insulin all day. And then it has high leucine content, what triggers mTOR. mTOR is again just muscle production. And then it has carnosine delays, which delays the muscle fatigue. Again, this, like over here, it's stopping the lactic acid buildup during your workout. Like, it's funny when I'm coaching clients, they're like, man, I'm sore during my workout. I'm already getting sore. I'm like, bro, you need to be eating beef. I know you're not eating your beef. I know that because you should not be getting sore during training. You can get sore after training, but during training, you should not be getting sore unless you're like just getting started in the gym. You should not be getting sore during your workout. After training, the zinc triggers testosterone synthesis. So you need testosterone, obviously, to recover your muscle. The more testosterone you have, the more anabolic you are, the better you're going to recover from the gym and build muscle. The high protein drives muscle protein synthesis. That's the muscle repair system of the body. Again, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. So when you damage your muscle after a workout, you damage your whole body, you're stressing your whole body out. You need to repair all those cells in your body. And when the mitochondria in all your cells is powerful, it's able to repair quicker. And then there's B12, which supports red blood cell regeneration. So during your workout, what you're really doing during your workout is it's called hypertrophy training. You're pushing blood into your muscle, and that's what makes your muscles grow. Muscle fibers split, and then they heal back stronger. And like, it's going to heal better with the protein muscle synthesis and the zinc and the mitochondrial repair, but also your blood needs to regenerate. Like, that blood is being used to shuttle nutrients, and you can kind of compare it to a semi-truck. If a semi-truck is on the road all day, the engine's going to get hot, the tires are going to wear down. Same with your blood. It's transporting all this nutrients, all this oxygen to your muscle. It needs to be repaired after your workout. So let's go why the supplement industry needs to sell you these fake protein powders instead of eating beef. So whey protein isolate costs like $30 to $50 a month, which is crazy. Like, I think it costs more than that now. The last time I bought a protein powder was in like 4 years ago. It was Mark Bell's, and that shit is expensive. It was like $50 for 20 days worth of protein. Creatine is actually pretty cheap. And then you have the ZMAA, that's zinc and magnesium, B12, iron supplements. You have your pre-workout. You're looking at like $100 to $180 a month. This is everything you can get from just eating beef. You're spending $180 a month. And I remember when I was a kid, I would have every supplement on my nightstand. I would have all of these supplements, plus a lot more supplements than this. And I was making not as many gains as I make now. I was just making gains because I was consistent in the gym. But this is crazy. I remember when I was living this life. But you don't need to spend your money on supplements because of marketing. You can get all of this from food. Like, look, you can get creatine from ground beef. From liver, you get your B12, your iron, and your zinc. From eggs, you're going to get all your amino acids. Bone broth is going to give you collagen. There's no powders, no pills, no fillers. Like, again, these supplements come from factories in China, and they're not even regulated by the FDA. Like, at least food is regulated by, I don't know what administration, but at least it's regulated. The FDA can sell you anything and not get in trouble for it. In fact, every protein company has actually been caught lying about the actual protein content in their powders because they don't have to, like, tell you the truth. They can say it has 30 grams of protein when in reality, most protein powders have half the amount of protein that they claim. So you're like double wasting your money because your body can't process these protein powders, and then it has half the amount of what they actually claim is in it. And then you add up all of these every day, you're looking at like $6 to $4 a day, compared to like $180 a month with this. You add up $4 to $6 a day. I mean, what's the math on that? Four times 30 is 120, and you need to eat anyways. So it's like you're spending money on food and on supplements. You're spending more money buying supplements and then eating food with that than if you're just to get all your nutrients from food. And that's one of the biggest excuses I hear from people as to why they need supplements, is because protein is too expensive. Well, in reality, you're spending more on your supplement stack than you're spending on your protein. And now, like I was saying above, I've been eating this way for 2+ years, and I've never felt better despite doctors and every major health institution telling me that I should die. For ground beef, what have I been eating? I've been eating about 400 grams daily at the very least. I've been eating liver 3 times a week. You don't want to eat liver every day because it's high in vitamin A, which can actually be toxic. Vitamin A is this retinol here. But liver is the most nutrient-dense food on earth. It has B12, iron, zinc, literally everything you need to thrive as a male. Remember, zinc and iron are going to support testosterone. So you want to get in that liver. Liver is disgusting. I still hate eating liver, but what I do is I chop it up into little pieces, and I literally just drop it in my mouth and swallow it. I don't even chew it or taste it. Think of it like your multivitamin. And people will say that you should cook your liver, but I believe that all organ meat should be eaten raw, because these vitamins like B12, zinc, and iron, they're super heat sensitive. So when you expose them to heat, they're actually going to be cooked out or destroyed in the process. So you want to always eat your organ meat raw. And then eggs, 4 to 6 a day. I do 4 right now because I'm cutting, but this is going to give you your complete amino acid profile, chlorine for brain function, and then you're going to have the fat soluble vitamins. And then bone broth. I drink this every day. I just made a fresh batch. Now you want to make your own, like if you have time. I make it with chicken feet and pig feet, and then I boil it or simmer it for 24 hours. I should make another video on exactly how to make it, but basically you want to put apple cider vinegar in the chicken feet and the pig feet, let it sit for like an hour, and then you want to simmer that for 24 hours. The apple cider vinegar is going to pull out the magnesium, it's going to pull out iron, it's going to pull out all the minerals from the bone, so it makes it more nutrient and mineral dense. But this collagen is going to be a precursor for your gut health and joint recovery. And back to why you want to make it yourself is the ones sold in stores are super watery and they're watered down. When you make it yourself, that shit is going to be like jello. Like if you make it how I just said, it's going to be like a jello, and it's going to be the most nutrient dense thing you can eat. So let's go into like the actual proof of the gains I've made on gym tan beef, eating beef. So this was me when I wasn't on the gym tan beef protocol, just eating processed food, not going to the gym, not eating beef, not getting out in the sun. Look how fucking fat I was. I have man titties, big old belly, and this is me on gym tan beef. Jacked, shredded, like so much more muscle definition. I look fucking sick in this picture. And I'm not the only one who has done this. I've done it for plenty clients as well. So I just want to show you I'm not like the only one who has done this on the gym tan beef protocol. This is Peter here. Look how fat Peter was, and we got him shredded. And he was mainly eating carnivore to get shredded. So he was doing a lot of fasting and doing carnivore. And then for the past or the last 3 months of working together, we went more into animal based, and we did more eggs, more bone broth, more liver to get him to this physique here. So that's a crazy fucking transformation. And then we have Joe right here. Joe, same thing, bro. He was eating processed food. He was not working out at all, not getting out in the sun. And you can see the difference here. Like, look how sad he is. His hair's all disheveled. And look how his hair changed color. Like, literally, his hair was like brown and now it was blonde. So, crazy transformation here. And this is just coming from eating beef, eggs, liver, bone broth. He was eating chicken too. I do a chicken like taper off for my clients, and even I eat chicken towards the end of my cut just because it is lean. Like beef isn't the only thing I eat, but this presentation is mainly about beef and how not to fear beef. But this isn't the only result from beef. Beef is also going to clear your acne. This was my back before I started gym tan beef and I started eating beef and bone broth. Like when I talk about bone broth heals the skin, and look how different my skin is here compared to here. Like I still have scars, but man, night and day difference. And bone broth is really, really going to help with this, with regenerating your skin cells and making sure you recover from acne. And then here's my face right here. Holy shit, I can't believe I used to walk around like this with all this shit on my face. And this just came from processed food, not working out, not going into the sun. My whole gym tan beef protocol is what obviously transformed me here, but I just want to show you the benefits of eating collagen, eating beef, and not eating any supplements, because supplements will also inflame you. Again, your body doesn't know how to process supplements. So when it doesn't know how to process something, it's going to lead to inflammation. And that's what acne is. It's inflammation plus toxins trying to leave your skin. Toxins from processed food, toxins from protein powders, inflammation from your body not knowing how to handle it. So you can see the results there. If you don't eat beef after this presentation, bro, I don't know what you're fucking doing. So now, what about chicken breast? Now, again, I don't want to totally like demonize chicken, but where I'm coming from with this angle is like your basic gym bro bodybuilder telling you chicken, rice, and broccoli, chicken, rice, and broccoli. I tried that for years, and it would just lead to me having a crash out. I could get in good shape on the gym bro diet, but it's not sustainable. You can do it for like 3 months, get super shredded, but then you have a rebound, and then you start eating processed food, and it's not a long-term diet. Whereas beef, can you eat a fucking beef patty every day? I can. Can you eat a steak every day? Yeah. Can you eat bone broth every day? Yeah, it's super fucking easy. Like chicken, rice, and broccoli sucks, but this is easy. So chicken is leaner. Leaner doesn't mean better. Fat carries fat-soluble vitamins, so A, D, E, K2. This is what's going to keep you satiated, the fat in beef. So like I say, when chicken's not sustainable, is you'll eat chicken and you'll still be hungry after eating chicken. That's because it has no fat in it. Fat is what keeps you satiated, keeps you full longer, because your body does like to run off of fat. Chicken has more protein per gram. It does, but beef has creatine, carnosine, zinc, B12. Again, beef is just going to have more like nutrients in it that are actually going to like increase your hormones, increase your testosterone, your HGH, increase your immune system. Chicken is void of this. When I eat chicken, it's purely only for protein. It's purely only for protein, not for vitamins. So you need to eat beef with chicken. Like part of the Gym Tan Beef Blueprint is just mainly eating beef, but you can mix chicken in there and fish as well, as long as it's a whole food. And then we have one of the worst ones. Red meat raises your cholesterol and chicken won't. So LDL particle size matters. The cholesterol they're talking from beef doesn't even come from beef. It comes from seed oils. Again, this goes back to when they studied meat eaters. They're studying meat eaters who also eat McDonald's and other processed foods. Processed foods have seed oils in them. This is where the bad cholesterol was coming from, is the processed food, not the red meat. I was told to avoid saturated fat. This is one I hear a lot. Saturated fat hypothesis was never proven. 2010 metaphysical analysis of 347 subjects found zero association between saturated fat and heart disease. Again, this is just like an old wives' tale. Like, you remember your parents telling you not to go outside in the winter without shoes on because you'll get sick, when in reality, you get sick when you get a virus into your body. You don't get sick by getting cold. That's not how it works. But this is just a lie that's carried on through generations, and it has been disproven as far back as 2010. No randomized controlled trials confirm causation. Again, this goes back to when you test people who eat red meat, they're more likely to smoke, eat seed oils, drink alcohol. So you see people who eat red meat, they eat at McDonald's and they have higher rates of cancer, versus a vegan who doesn't eat any processed food, they only eat plants. Yeah, they're probably going to have less cancer because they're not smoking and eating processed food with seed oils in it and drinking alcohol. It just doesn't make sense. You have to think about it logically. So, what to actually eat? The Gym Tan Beef animal-based stack. Every nutrition your body needs. So you need ground beef. Why? Again, we have the complete protein, the creatine, the carnosine that's going to stop you getting sore, the zinc and the iron that's going to boost testosterone, and then the B12. You want to eat at least 400 grams a day. I'm on a cut right now, so I'm eating 400. When I'm at maintenance, I eat 600. You can fry that in beef tallow or butter and then throw some Celtic sea salt on it. You want real sea salt. You don't want the table salt, because that table salt is fake and they bleach it and it's processed. And again, no seed oils. And then we have liver. Liver, you want the retinol. That's going to help with your skin if you have acne. It has CoQ10, the B12. That's going to help your blood flow, give you that better pump. Same with the hemi iron, copper. All of this is really going to help with your pump and your testosterone production. Again, 3 times a week. If you don't like the taste, do it like I do. Chop it up into a little bit. Drop it down your mouth. It's just a multivitamin. And then we have eggs. It has the complete amino acid profile, choline for brain function, and the fat-soluble vitamins. You want to do 4 to 6 a day. Again, you're frying them in butter. If you eat them scrambled, mix them with some raw milk. They taste very good. Always include the yolk. Like, one of the biggest mistakes I made in the past was chugging egg whites. Yeah, while they're high in protein, again, you can chug a carton of egg whites. You're still going to be hungry after because they don't have the fats in them. The fat is what keeps you satiated and keeps you from getting hungry. That's what keeps a diet sustainable. And really, it's not a diet. It's a way of eating, because a diet is something you do for 2 or 3 months to lose weight. A way of eating is something you can do forever. Like, these fats will keep you full forever. Like, when you're just drinking egg whites and then you get hungry 30 minutes later, you're like, oh, I only have 3 more months of this. I can do it. I can do it. But you can't do it the rest of your life. And then bone broth. You're going to have the collagen, which is going to help your skin. Again, like my acne that healed up. It's going to help your sleep quality, your joint recovery. Like, sometimes my elbow hurts a little bit from lifting, but once I start eating collagen, it always heals up. Like, I have to admit, sometimes I forget to eat my collagen. Like, my last batch of bone broth, this is my first one in probably about 2 months, and it's just because I wasn't conscious about eating it, and then my elbow started hurting, and I'm like, well, I better start eating my fucking collagen again. And I'm gonna make another video on how to make a bone broth recipe, so if you want to see that video, make sure you subscribe. So now let's tie this all in together about my whole philosophy. What is Gym Tan Beef, and how do they all come together? Because they really all come together to help you find true health, transform your physique, and actually transform your looks. So we'll start with the gym. With the gym, you have to train with intention. This is progressive overload, building muscle. Without the training signal, the nutrition is wasted. Like, if you're on my account, Gym Tan Beef, you want to build muscle, you want to build a good physique. Like, I love having a good physique. It gives me more presence. It gives me more confidence. I just want to be like an action figure. Like, when I was a kid, I always wanted to be jacked and shredded. So that's what I'm doing as an adult. And then we have tan. Get outside, anchor your hormones, power your mitochondria. The vitamin D is actually going to help build your testosterone. The cholesterol from the beef and the zinc and all that will build your testosterone. But you need the sun to activate the mechanisms to build that testosterone. And also, everyone looks better with a good tan. Like, if you're going to have the collagen from the beef giving you good skin, then you might as well get outside, get that glow. Like, again, we're going after true health. We're going after a nice body, and we're going after the best looks possible. Like, that's what all man should want, right? And we're doing it the natural way here. No peptides. And then beef. So we're eating ancestrally nutrient-dense animal foods that give your body what it was meant to live on. Now let's get into how you can start doing this in your life. So what you want to do is just start slowly. Like, you don't want to go full carnivore and just start downing like only meat every day. Start by replacing one protein source this week with 400 grams of ground beef a day. And I promise you, bro, you're going to love this diet. Like, could you ever imagine someone telling you that you can get jacked, shredded, look better, have more energy by eating beef, by eating, basically it's a hamburger without the bun? Like, even throw some pickles on it. Like, mustard has 0 calories. Mustard is natural. Like, throw some mustard on it. You literally have a hamburger without a bun. Cook it in butter or tallow. Again, no seed oils. And then you want to add 100 grams of liver 2 to 3 times a week. Soak it in lemon. Don't pan fry it. I don't know why I fucking put that in there. Do not cook your liver. I guess when I was making it, I was thinking, like, if you have to cook it at first, yeah, you can cook it. But to be honest, it's going to taste like shit either way. So I would just eat it raw, get all the heat-soluble vitamins that would be cooked out in it into your body. Or you can blend it into your beef. I would personally, bro, just chop it up. Just throw it down the hatch. Soaking it in lemon will take away some of the smell. Soaking it in milk will also help with the smell and the taste. So soak it in raw milk or lemon if you're really worried about the taste. Maybe don't start with 2 or 3 times a week. Start with 1 time a week and then go from there. And then eat 6 to 4 eggs daily. You don't want to skip the yolk. That's where the actual nutrition is. Again, the fat that's going to keep you full all day long and not have you having hunger cravings when you get to the office and being like, oh, there's some donuts. When you eat 6 eggs in the morning, bro, you're not going to have room for a donut because you're going to be so full. And then number 4, this is probably the fucking easiest. Drop the seed oils. Like, seed oils don't add any taste. They don't add any flavor. Like, drop them. Like, fry your stuff in beef tallow. You can still fry your meat. You can fry your potatoes. You can have all this, and actually it tastes better in tallow. But this is the easiest change. There's absolutely no excuse to be cooking with seed oils in 2026, bro. So, this is how your body was built to eat. Experts told you to be afraid of red meat, but I'm here to tell you, bro, you want to start red meat maxing. So, the beef protocol is just one layer of gym tan beef. You have to train right, eat right, and then live in alignment outside with nature like God meant you to live. And if you need help putting all this together, this is what I do for a living. Like I showed you above, I helped all my clients achieve a better physique, a better look, and ultimately true health. And if you want to schedule a one-on-one consultation call, you can find that in the description below. Not everyone fits for the program. Unfortunately, sometimes I have to turn people away because they are still brainwashed and want to follow what the experts say. But if you're a good fit for the program, I'd love to help you transform your looks and ultimately help you achieve true health. But that's all I had for today. YouTube thinks that you'll like this video the most next. Go eat some beef after this video, bro. Like, what are you still doing here?